Favorite kind of beer? Other people's. If you knew my dad, you knew he wasn't fancy or pretentious in any way. As a matter of fact, he is in that minnow bucket and, on the table. If you want to pay your respects. He was clever and kind and handsome and hilarious. He worked hard and he played hard and he loved a good time. And yes, Dad, right after I'm done with this, it's going to be time to sing the ship Titanic. And all the Madden cousins need to come up. All right. We all have some Class A Pete stories. The story of how, when he was at St. Cat's, he and Joe DeQuisto were tasked with putting away the huge nativity scene after Christmas. And when he saw one of the nuns coming, he was inspired. He got inside of one of the figurines and called out, "Oh, Sister Margaret," who ran off saying, "It's a miracle! It's a miracle!" At least in his telling. And he said the detention was worth it. There was a time he walked off the pier in Racine after shooting fireworks with Uncle Mike, and we had to drive with the windows down on our way to Infusino's because he smelled like dead fish. There was a time he showed up at Colleen's work with jumper cables because he knew she needed something for her car, but he couldn't remember what it was. It was a screwdriver that she needed to remove a rusted license plate. It was close, but no cigar. There's so many stories, I can't tell them all. There's the stolen chicken and the bullet in the trunk. There's the time he saved someone from drowning at the Racine Quarry. The time playing football when he got a concussion and got up and ran the wrong way to the end zone. He gave gum to little kids in Vietnam, and there's the infamous Major McManus and the big donut in the mailroom story. Kringle. I hope we can all tell some good stories today, and here's my favorite of my dad. When I was about 5 years old, my dad took me fishing. I had a push-button Snoopy pole, a bobber, a worm. He got all the fishing gear ready, boat in the water, got me situated, handed me the pole, took his cigar out of his mouth, and gave me my instruction. Okay, all you have to do is start with the pole behind you, swing it forward, push the button, and let go. So, dramatic pause. Thank you, Mackenzie. So I swung the fishing pole behind me, then forward, pushed the button, and let go of my entire new fishing pole, which sank quickly to the bottom of the lake. So I think it says everything about the kind of person my dad was. He didn't yell at me, he didn't panic, he just let out a huge Pete Madden laugh and proceeded to hook my fishing pole with his and got it back in the boat. This is the guy that ran behind me on my first bike with a banana seat and huge handlebars while I flew down the massive hill in my parents' front yard, or it was massive at the time. He's the guy who taught me to shoot pool, play golf, drive a stick shift, and remember to wipe down the door jambs and clean the tires when you wash a car. He was not much for handyman type repairs. If it didn't involve duct tape or WD-40, we had to call him my mom. But he installed in us the idea that we could do whatever we put our minds to. I only saw my dad truly mad twice that I can recall in my life. One time I was little, and when snowmobiles would tear down our road after a snowstorm, he would whip a cigar out of his mouth and yell, "Slow down!" And once when I was in high school and came home around 2 a.m., when he was waiting up for me in the living room, he scared the shit out of me and said, "I hope you had fun because you'll never be having fun again." So I recently scanned in over 1,000 slides that spent the last 51 years in the attic on Shady Lane. Racine, Whitewater, Vietnam, early married years, and you'll see some of them in the slideshow in a minute. You can tell what he valued by what he took pictures of. Friends, family, rivers, sunsets, cars, animals, little kids. He took candid shots of people laughing and drinking, and in Vietnam there's a whole series of photos of kids swimming in flooded fields, holding their little siblings, staring at the weird freckled sunburned guy with the camera. Kids came running after the army jeeps for pieces of gum. He saw the good in the world. And in so many of the pictures, he's goofing around even while digging foxholes and latrines, filling sandbags, and sharing beers with his buddies. He was the most down-to-earth, friendliest, good-natured person I might ever have the good fortune to know. And thankfully, he had the wisdom to ask my mom to marry him, and they danced through 56 years. I'll miss him cleaning my windshield every time I stopped on Shady Lane. His bad dad puns. Why shouldn't you talk through a screen door? You'll strain your voice. And his don't forget to flush and see yous guys, his hugs, his mangling of song lyrics, his joy for life, and his love for all of us, every person in this room. Dad, it was the honor and privilege of a lifetime to have you for a dad. Cheers, Sláinte, we love you. Here's to you, Dad, until we meet again.